Hey everybody, Chef AJ here, and I am so thrilled to have in my kitchen my good friend, the CEO and founder of California Balsamic Vinegar, to give you a lesson on how to shake up your vinegars. You know, so many people love these vinegars, and it's so generous of Thomas to give everyone who uses my name, Chef AJ, 2 free small samples with any size order if you put my name in the leave us a message box after you start to check out. But there's 3 flavors that have a lot of herbs in them. That's what makes them so special. And people are like, how do I do this? And he's going to give you a lesson right now.
So here's what's going on here. I get calls regularly from customers who purchase the garden dill mustard seed balsamic vinegar and the best-selling 7-herb Italian. I know that you and Charles are jonesing for this stuff, and it's wonderful. But it is a challenge to shake up all the herbs in it, and there's a very specific way to do that, and we're going to demonstrate it today. So we're going to start with the 7-herb Italian. Normally, we just take the top off of this, but because it's a demonstration, I'm going to take the top off of it, and I'm going to take the sleeve of that's called a shrink capsule. We're going to take the whole thing off so you can see the whole thing here. Now, if you're going to take a knife, do not take a knife and go whoosh like this, because the top of the bottle will break off. So don't do it. You can just get it going and then take it off in one long streak, you know, like a long piece of spaghetti. So here's the herbs that are in the bottle now.
And those are from Nick DeVorn at Local Spicery, aren't they?
Localspicery.com. Nick is our friend, and he has the Italian spices and the Italiano Toscano spices and herbs. So there's 9
salt-free seasonings.
Oh my gosh, there's 7 herbs and 4 spices. So 11 different products in this bad boy.
Wow.
So you can see here, there's a big section of the herbs here. If you try and shake it up and down, you're going to see, I'm trying to shake this as hard as I can, nothing's going to happen here. So what I like to do to start off is take a little skewer like this and put it right down into the herbs and start stirring them up. And you can get that going like that. That's an easy way to start.
Is the reason commercial salad dressings don't have this problem is because they put a lot of stuff in that we don't need, like emulsifiers, and those aren't really good for our gut.
And emulsifiers will keep the herbs suspended throughout the bottle, but it's not good. Yeah. So we want to make this as natural as possible. So here's what I've done. I've stirred them up, and now here's the most important part. Keep your arm steady and twist your wrist back and forth. Make the top of the bottle go from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 9 to 3, back and forth like this. And I do it 2 or 3 times very quickly.
Wow.
And you can see here that, whoa, most of that just blended up beautifully in that. But also be careful, because all the herbs were at the top, some of the herbs shot up into the top of the bottle, and oh, there's the infamous plug of herbs here. So what we're going to do is take our little skewer here, or you could do a little toothpick, and just stir up just a little bit, and now once the air is allowed to drop down into the bottle, the air come out, and the herbs will drop down into the bottle. And then I'll give it another quick twist. And those skewers
are just from the 99-cent store. They were I got like 100 of them.
You can do a skewer, you can do a chopstick, you can do anything that you want, as long as it will go down. It needs to be about 4 or 5 inches long to get into the herbs, to give them that initial stir. And then a couple more quick back and forwards here, and that's it. There's no more plug, and the bottle is completely blended with all the herbs through there. So that's the 7-herb Italian.
And that's the same procedure for all the 3 flavors that are very herby.
Exactly right. So I'm just going to cut the bottom here just a little bit just to get it going. And the whole thing generally pops right off, just like that. And now the same thing with the garden dill mustard seed. Chef, would you give that a quick rinse there?
Or you can use the other end.
Oh, use the other end. That's easy. I like that. And pop the top off. Put the thing down there, give it a swirl, and get those herbs busted up. And I always like to be sure, and I tell all my customers, be sure to lick that, don't waste anything. So, and we'll pop the top back on. Now, because there's still a lot of herbs right up in the neck area, when you do the initial back and forth like this, some of the herbs will shoot up into the top and create that plug again. But 2 or 3 quick shakes back and forth like this, and there it is. The plug is gone, and the bottle is completely blended.
How many herbs are in this one?
This is just 2, fresh dill and mustard seed powder.
Wow.
That's it.
That's
Nothing else in there.
So this makes great pickles and marinated onions, by the way.
And lots of people love to put this into a potato salad.
Potato salad.
It's dill and mustard. You're going to put that in anyway.
Right.
Now, oh, there it is, the infamous plug again. So I'm just going to push that. I'm going to let a little bit of the, make a hole so that the air can come out and the herbs will drop down again. And so they're back down. And then one more quick shake, and this one should be ready to go. If you have to do it 2 or 3 times because the plug might come back again, it's possible.
But it won't come back anymore.
Right. And there it is. So we've got it now. The plug is gone, and it's ready to be used. And you can refrigerate this if you want to. We never do. Our products don't have to be refrigerated unless you just like a cold salad dressing, and that's fine. And finally, the curry balsamic.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Now this one doesn't have any herbs in it, but it does have a boatload of spices. And we're going to take this off there like so. You can see some of the spices went up into the neck, and there's also a bunch of spices in the bottom of the bottle. So this one is a little bit tricky because the other 2 flavors with all the herbs, they'll always float because herbs always float. And once you've got the level of the bottle below the shoulder, and you've got about 2 to 3 inches of space, you can shake it up and down. But I like back and forth shaking. That's the most effective way to blend anything that needs blending.
So herbs don't float. Who knew that?
Herbs do float, spices don't.
Herbs float, spices sink.
But it's interesting, there are probably about 11 or 12 different spices in here, and some of them float and some of them sink, depending on how heavy they are. So this is another one where we're going to, thank you for that little wash.
Floater.
Yep, you don't know which does what. And we're just going to give that another easy little blend.
Do you use a special curry powder in this?
This one is absolutely a sodium-free curry powder, and those are difficult to find because so many of the curry powders have salt in it, and so this is one that we found that was sodium-free. Back and forth shake. I'll do 2 or 3 quick bursts back and forth, and now you can still see that some of the spices they've dropped down mostly, but I'm just going to give it 2 or 3 more quick shakes back and forth like that to get them out of the neck area. And there it goes, back and forth.
Let me ask you this. These come in different size bottles. This is the largest. So will this happen with every size bottle?
The 8-ounce bottle, yes. The 5-ounce bottle, yes. Now the 3-ounce little bottles that we brought in today, those are ones that I put my middle finger on top, my thumb on the bottom of it, and I just shake it up and down really hard because there is no neck to the little 3-ounce bottles. It's just a shoulder and then the top of the bottle. And
what about the 1.8-ounce sample bottle?
Again, back up and down as hard as you can because you can't twist back and forth little tiny bottles. They just don't. They need to be taller to shake them back and forth. But the little ones, up and down as hard as you can, and that'll do it. So here is now the curry here. When the herbs sink to the bottom of the bottle and you've used about half of the bottle, you still need to blend the bottle really well because if the spices at the bottom of the bottle, you've got a little 1/4 inch layer of spices down here, you have to be sure that those are blended every time you use it. So what I like to do is I turn the bottle upside down, do this back and forth. The liquid of the vinegar will get all the herbs off of the bottom of the bottle. Because I call you a couple years ago when we gave you one of these bottles, the herbs were, the spices were still at the bottom of the bottle, and so I said, now be sure to turn your bottle upside down, shake it like this to get everything off the bottom of the bottle, and that's the most effective way of doing that for this one. There's 2 or 3 other flavors. The ruby red onion has onion granules. that will be near the neck. So you can give them a shake 2 or 3 times to get them out of the neck. And then, of course, there's the basil balsamic with fresh basil, and the cilantro has fresh herbs in that one. But the flavors that have garlic and peppers, they're not as much trouble because we've juiced them, and it's just the liquid from the peppers and the garlic. Those don't ever need to be
and it does say
blended.
shake well on the bottle.
Shake well on every bottle, right there, back and
it
forth.
also has Thomas's phone number, so
Yes,
feel
it
free
does.
to call him for any vinegar emergency you have.
And my personal cell number is on every bottle here, probably 1.5 million bottles, my person, so don't call me at 3 a.m. So
Or his 3 a.m. Well, thank you so much for explaining how to shake
That's it.
Please check out all these wonderful flavors of California Balsamic Vinegar. We'll put a link below. And thanks so much, and happy eating.